Welcome to Her Story Revisited. We have a very special guest today, our dear friend, Robert Perala, cosmic partner in the star walking experience of our lives.
Yes.
Robert Perala, let me just introduce you to our audience. Robert has been, he's author of Divine Architect. Oh, sorry, Divine Blueprint, right?
There we go. The Divine Architect. That's correct. Yes.
But
Yes.
Divine Blueprint was your second one?
First one.
The first one.
The first one.
Yes.
Divine Blueprint and Divine Architect.
Yes.
And he was also host of a radio show, Talk Radio and KEST in the Bay Area. And so were Sophie and I many years ago. And we all launched books years ago. And in 1993, Sophie and I launched our book, self-published, called I Have Come to Take You Home.
Yes.
And it was a spiritual teachings compendium of Suma Ching Hai. And we were across at the Whole Life Expo in San Francisco. Our booth across was Mr. Robert Perala and Sheldon Neidl.
Wow.
We're becoming galactic humans.
Sheldon Neidl had a book called We Are Becoming Galactic Humans.
And we traded. He goes, can I have your book? I'll give you mine. And so we traded.
And so we did.
Awesome.
And that became fast friendship. But Robert, particularly for those who don't know, has been host of virtually every consciousness expo along the West Coast for the last 30 years, including more than almost 30 years of Whole Life Expo and New Living Expo, as well as the Conscious Living Expo in Los Angeles.
And the UFO.
And the UFO Con. And Conspiracy Con. And so many others. You know all those quirky people.
Yes.
I do. They're all teachers.
Yes, and we all have been on a journey of, I think in general, humanity's ascension. Because years ago, we were all told that there was an awakening of human DNA about to happen, and that the end of the Mayan calendar was going to be kind of a scheduling trigger point that would open up humanity to a different way of being. And that different way was to be on a multi-dimensional consciousness rather than just in the duality that has really been the paradigm for the last 5,000 years.
Right.
And so they called us all New Agers, but now we're aging.
It's not new anymore.
Process, right?
And in that awakening, I think the thing that's interesting, Robert, particularly that I wanted to discuss today, because David Wilcock just died yesterday. And we've had so many luminaries. There are 11 scientists in the secret ops that have gone missing in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And that in itself is such a big thing. So from your perspective, what do you think about this particular time in consciousness and this particular time before cosmic disclosure actually happens?
And whatever that is, we don't know.
Well, I think that social media and the movies, motion pictures, television, and media in general keep repeating a theme of some kind of merge and some kind of get together. I hope that medium would hope that would stay somewhat positive, because they generally show you movies that ET only wants you on a dinner plate. And that's not actually completely accurate. That's more man who's always dramatizes, takes it to the worst case scenario. But I'm a big believer that the earth is a vested experience for a host of other things that the Bible, the Gita, the Sanskrit, the Torah, all of them have written about the Elohim, the angelics, archangels, Christ,
interdimensionals,
Christ,
angels and aliens.
Right.
There were just a host of this. We're a shared experience, and that there's a veil between us, because in the material world, it'd be very disconcerting for a lot of souls to be introduced to this too quickly sort of shatter the fabric of the reality itself. This is why you don't see a attempted landing in a major metropolitan area, because it's impossible for the consciousness as where we are now as a primitive society to make that incredible leap. So they have these managed visitations, slightly out of range, never intrusive. The Air Force sees it as, it doesn't look like an aggressive target, and it doesn't look like a ballistic target of any kind. It just seems to be whatever these spheres are that are dropping down into the troposphere and the ionosphere and the lower atmospheres, seem to be some kind of listening or recording device, perhaps, as
I
watching
think
us.
you're right.
Doesn't seem to jump out at you, which.
No, the monitoring. if
But did you
anything.
hear about the Buga sphere? Apparently, they've done some analysis, deep analysis, and been able to get imagery of what's going on inside. There's some sort of being that lives inside of this thing.
Really?
Yeah, inside of the Buga sphere.
Whoa.
That just happened recently. The high spectrometry microscope, and they were able to go in and
Kind of heartbeat or something?
no, but they see this image that kind of looks like snakes or worms. It's like a brain almost,
Wow.
but some sort of life form
Organic. Wow.
is inside of it.
That's a trip.
Well, that anything is possible. I mean,
What I think is interesting, Robert, is that ever since, a lot of these scientists and military disclosure whistleblowers began coming out in the 80s, late 80s and early 90s, and then the work of Daniel Brinkley and Dr. Raymond Moody and Dr. John Mack and Dolores Cannon, they were having these common experiences of regression with these people that were going into other realms and trying to explain what those other realms really are.
And revealed worlds that were not visible to the naked eye, but were fully, they were fully architected and fully
Like
operational
worlds.
in parallel to our world that we thought, well, that was all there was to it.
And is it just like mass psychosis, or is it,
No.
or are these true, interdimensional experiences that consciousness is able to
think about
tune
it.
into?
There are billions of galaxies. How could we be the only one out there? Not planets, galaxies.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And so in billions of galaxies, and since life never dies, right? It just keeps transforming. And some started probably before us. Obviously, some are going to be more ahead of us in their evolution. It's all happening at the same time. And Doris was talking about time and how time is not linear. And that's probably why we're at a point in our evolution where, as long as we think of time as a linear, like a thread, there's behind me and then in front of me, we cannot access these other dimensions that are all simultaneously and kind of cocoon one within the other. And I think that's where we're at. If anything, disclosure is like we have been looking at it in a flattened, reductive way.
Well, we've been thinking of abductions and little gray aliens and or Draco whatevers that are taking people away, or chupacabra or no sé qué. But on the other hand, there are a lot of people that are awakening to these angelics or the interdimensional light beings. So I wanted to talk to you about that, Robert, because extraterrestrial and inner experiences are kind of two different things, aren't they?
Two things. One is maybe I think we're walking with we're walking with a committee, and that committee is a host of discarnates, lost loved ones, other things that check in on us, and then not all our thoughts are even our own. We actually kind of share the space. So you hear them speaking to you in your own mind's voice as an idea. That way it's very comforting, right? It would be very disconcerting if you heard this idea
outside.
Yes. Who is that? That would be very disconcerting. The second thing is I asked James Van Praagh. You guys know James Van Praagh, right?
Yes. Yes.
He's a fantastic guy. I just love the man. I ran into his assistant over the weekend who been working and filming him. I asked James one time, I said, in our dreams, you say we go out of our body, and at nighttime we visit various scenarios. One is an amalgamation in our dreams of things like don't make quite much sense. And then when you come out of it, there's this amalgamation experience, and you say, well, I had this weird dream, and so and so and so. The other is much more understandable and is a place that we know somehow. We know where everything is. We feel very comfortable there, and it might look very much like the reality that we have here. Picture the mandala or that kind of thing of the infinite amount of possibilities. But I asked him the most important question was, when we dream, we go out of our body and we go to this place and we have this experience. When we return back to our body, is that place still there? Yes.
If the observer is looking at it.
Yeah.
Scenarios are true. In some cases, we are going to a place that is actually there.
Well, it's interesting that Dolores talks about simultaneous time. She was talking about in her film Nostradamus. She said, I actually met with him on another realm, and we observed to each other, hey, you're not dead.
Nope.
And he said, I'm not dead either. I'm in my time. Yeah. You're in your time.
And we're meeting
and we are meeting and sharing time.
In a different time, yes.
Oh, that's very exciting. Yeah. There's different timelines. You know what do they call that? You know, the mandala that has all these round circles, and each of the little dots represent a infinite fractals experience.
Yes.
And then it's so many within that circle, within that circle, within that, and you blah blah.
Yeah, and each fractal contains the whole. That's the thing that's amazing about the fractal.
It's about how timeline portals work and how we might be on this trajectory or we might be on that trajectory.
Yeah.
Sophie and I we were so pissed off at Blockbuster Video in the 90s because we were super movie buffs. Yes. And we would rent like 5 or 6 movies and then go to work and not have time to take them back. And we had so many fees from Blockbuster. So we found out that you could go to the library and rent movies. Yeah. And we were like,
no,
cool,
for free. Yeah. Check them out.
And so we
have to bring them back too.
We went to the library in San Jose, California, and
in Boulder Creek,
no, this is in San Jose.
All right.
And while we were standing there looking for, Tom Cruise movies or whatever, we ended up finding this video called the Mandelbrot set.
Yeah.
And it was this scientist from IBM.
Yeah.
Who was in Switzerland, and he was tasked with taking fractal geometry, the Fibonacci sequence particularly, and creating a 3-dimensional model,
a visual
on a computer.
Right, very early.
That had never been done before back in the 80s. There were not computers that could crunch that many numbers.
No.
And so he had mastered this with
he created the visual.
That same computer that won against. Was it Kaspersky? Who was
Kasparov?
Kasparov,
the chess player. Yeah,
same IBM computer that won against the chess player.
Right, but it was the first time that they were visually showing a fractal that, as you zoom into it, it recreates itself infinitely, and
it looks like a Buddha.
And it looks like it has a small head with a big belly, and you kind of go into it.
It looks just like the Buddha.
Yeah.
And that's what was so astounding about it. And this is way before the internet.
Way before.
This is our VHS tape on the Mandelbrot set.
Yeah, and they called him Mandelbrot because his name was Mandelbrot.
Yeah,
and
he was the man who discovered it.
Very sweet German scientist, just like, whoa.
But the point is that in that one image was infinity. Right. And that you could go, no matter how much you zoomed,
it keeps going.
It would bring that same image. It was
directions.
the Buddha infinitely, forever.
Yeah.
No matter where you zoomed.
And that's fractal geometry that you see commonly see now in patterns and backgrounds and all of that.
Right.
And they're perfect images.
So it makes you think about all of these bodhisattvas and enlightened masters that have walked these inner worlds and
organically
maybe literally seen the whole as a fractal, like the Mandelbrot.
Yeah.
Sure, there's an infinite amount of possibilities, absolutely. there's a lot of timelines, and these visitors are coming through these timelines. Like as I said in the very beginning of the conversation, I think going back to what the original question was, how the media was massaging us here and getting it. I think it's just designed to get you used to the idea. So we're being prepared.
You mean soft disclosure?
Soft disclosure and getting ready we're sort of being softly birthed into this larger expression.
Sure.
And that's day by day. It will take decades to get used to the idea. So you see these testimonies each and every day on YouTube. They look like kooky people saying, I think I've had contact. I saw something in my bedroom. There was a bright light that touched down in the backyard and my dog ran away.
Yeah.
There's an infinite amount of stories. And now, of course, we have, Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day coming.
That's coming in just a few weeks.
July or something, yeah.
We're waiting for that. I hope that it is a positive narrative, because the trailers, and sometimes I look on the back line of
Yeah.
the report comes out, see an interview with its director, see some outtakes, see the trailers, get a general consensus of what the film is, if it's important. And I hope this stays positive, because he actually is a key player in that he's one of the few people that really can shape and mold belief about this science, because everybody who is a regular person goes to the movies and then yes, and we still have that the night I went and saw Close Encounters, I was vaulted out of my
It changed my life. It was a big deal. I started seeing mashed potatoes everywhere.
Yeah. So we'll see, and I like it.
But you know what, Robert? I don't think it's going to be that positive, because it's about the Anunnaki, and I believe it's centered on Gilgamesh.
Yeah,
and
the Spielberg movie is.
Yeah, and the overlords that created the races that were enslaved for so many thousands of years.
They needed miners, and they needed, they need the gold to protect their planet. I mean, it's in the Epic of Gilgamesh. I mean, you made Zacharias.
But it might have been Human 1.0 or Human 2.0, because
earlier
apparently
version.
The Hopis say that we're on the 5th version of human on Earth.
Yeah.
Right.
Through genetic modification by
that over these cataclysms that have wiped out civilization again and again, and especially the global flood that was the Younger Dryas in 11,500 years ago.
I think the movie depicts it. It's pretty obvious that it shows us that it's not just coming to us; it's coming through us.
Yeah,
good, because that is the truth. Yeah.
If you look at Project Hail Mary, which I hope we see today, we've actually been waiting to see. I got to do a film review. I have a beautiful poster, because we were promoting their film at UFOCon, because I was the co-producer.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
UFOCon, so we want to go see it. It's Ryan Gosling, anyway, the tagline in it is. I'm glad it's getting to know me rather than getting to have me for dinner or something. There's a tagline on there.
No, but really, I mean, there were, a lot of people in the New Age movement that really thought there was going to be some mass landing, or some
they're coming
alien
to save us. Nobody's going to save
savior was going to show up. And then there were people like Dolores and even Standing Elk and others that spoke about how we have to raise our vibration, or we're never going to be able to be part of a galactic family, because the low level violence side of humans has kind of kept us sequestered for so long.
But there's also the law of non-interference. If we are on a journey of evolution, and it's consciousness that dictates how fast we evolve and in what direction we evolve, they cannot interfere in that, because we're sovereign souls, we're sovereign beings.
Thank you for spending time with us on Herstory Revisited. If you enjoyed today's episode, follow the show, share it with someone else, and please subscribe. It really helps more people discover the podcast and the channel. Until the next time, stay curious, keep asking questions, and we'll see you soon.